Good evening and welcome to the January 23rd, 2024 regular meeting of the Gaston County Board of Commissioners. My name is Chad Brown. I serve as chairman of the board as well as the commissioner of the Riverbend Township. I would like to welcome our viewers and thank Spectrum Cable and AT&T for making this possible for our citizens. For our television audience and live streaming audience, I would like to present you our Gaston County Commissioner beginning on my far right.
Alan Fraley, Cherville Township.
Good evening, I'm Ronnie Worley, South Point Township.
Good evening, I'm Kathy Cloninger, Dallas Township.
Welcome, Bob Hovis, Crowders Mountain Township.
Tom Tigger,
Gastonia Township.
At this time, I will ask you to please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Commissioner Hovis will be giving the invocation, and Commissioner Kieger will be leading the pledge of allegiance.
If you will, please bow with me. Gracious Father, we come to you tonight, before you tonight, taking care of the business of the county. Father, continue to help us be blessed and help us to reach out to others and bless them as well. Understanding the plight of individuals and communicating the needs of the county is this board's most important mission. Continue to give us the knowledge, the wisdom, and the grace that we expect, that you expect from us. We ask that in Christ's name. Amen.
The first item on the agenda tonight is proclamations, commendations, and awards. Now, Commissioner Kieger will be making a proclamation for the week of January 28, 2024 through February 3rd, 2024 for Catholic School Week in Gaston County. Commissioner Kieger.
Mr. Nolan. Thank you. Join me. Jacob Nolan is the headmaster, I guess we call it now? Yes, sir. Welcome. Glad you can make it. I'll just add this, whether it's good or bad, I'm a product of Catholic kindergarten, Catholic grammar school, high school, college. And I taught at St. Michael's for 2 years in the 70s. Oh, wonderful. So that's something I think most people didn't know, except the folks up here have heard it off and on over the years. Well, I'll go ahead with this. Whereas Catholic School Week is January 28th to February 3rd, and is sponsored by the National Catholic Educational Association and the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. Whereas St. Michael's School in Gastonia, North Carolina, and Catholic schools throughout the United States have made valuable contributions to their communities. And whereas more than 2 million students attend Catholic schools in the United States, and more than 85% of them go on to pursue a college degree. These students and their families should be commended for their strong dedication to their faith and for their steadfast commitment to furthering their studies. And whereas Catholic school educators and administrators deserve thanks for their steadfast commitment, not just to educating minds, but to shaping hearts and cultivating the virtues in students that make our country and our local communities stronger. Now therefore be it resolved that the Gaston County Board of Commissioners hereby recognizes the week of January 28th through February 3rd as Catholic School Week, and we will adopt this later on in the meeting. And if you want to say a word or two, have at it.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all so much for this commendation. Our school is greatly blessed to be Catholic and to provide a wonderful Catholic education to the students who are with us in the town of Gastonia. We ask God to watch over and bless us in the coming week, that we can celebrate and recognize all of the hard work and all of the achievements of our faculty and staff and students. Thank you.
The next item will be Commissioner Hovis will be doing a commendation for the finance staff.
If I could ask the folks from the finance department that are here to please join me, please. Thank you. It's only appropriate that we have this recognition for our finance department on a night when we're getting a presentation of the audit. I don't know, that's just the way things kind of work out. It's kind of interesting, I thought. But this is Achievement of Excellence in Financial Reporting Award. Whereas the finance director oversees the preparation of the county's annual comprehensive financial report, Mrs. Tiffany R. Murray the former Gaston County Finance Director, coordinated the compilation and production of the 2022 report with the assistance of the Finance Department and staff. And whereas the Finance Department has been awarded the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the Gaston County 2022 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. This certificate of achievement is the highest form of recognition in the area of government accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by government and its management. And whereas this honor enhances the county's credibility in financial management, and the achievements demonstrate the competence of the finance director and the finance department and staff. And whereas the annual comprehensive financial report was judged by an impartial panel to meet the high standards of the program in demonstrating a constructive spirit of full disclosure to clearly communicate its financial story and to motivate potential users and users groups to read the annual comprehensive financial report. Now therefore be it resolved that the Gaston County Board of Commissioners congratulates Tiffany R. Murray and Finance Department staff upon being awarded the Government Finance Officers Association prestigious Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for fiscal year 2022 for the 9th consecutive year. Further, the Commission commends the Director and the staff for their stewardship in managing revenue provided by the Gaston County taxpayers. This is to be adopted the 23rd day of January 2024, and I'm sure one of these astute individuals behind me would like to make a comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, and members of the board. On behalf of the county's finance department, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to accept the GFOA Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for Gaston County's FY22 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. The 20 members of the finance team that are here today all deserve to be recognized for their hard work and dedication to public service, which they display each and every day. This is a true team that works hard. They're not afraid to tackle difficult problems. They make sure the county's bills are paid accurately and on time. They ensure contracts are financially feasible and employees' checks are deposited every 2 weeks. I know they never seek out any credit and often face some difficult problems, but they always figure out the best solution for the county with a positive can-do attitude. It has been a real pleasure for me to get to know them all better over the last year and a half. And I could not be more proud to stand here and recognize them on achieving another Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the 9th consecutive year. That's quite an accomplishment. And again, it's my honor to accept this award on their behalf, but really they are the folks that help make this organization run so well. Thank you all for your time.
Justin? Is Kyle back there somewhere? Kyle, step up there. For the staff, I want you guys to know, we'd like to see 10 years in a row, but the best part of this is we're thankful that our staff is what they are. We're thankful for the dedication that you put forth in making sure that we, as this board, look good in all occasions. And you guys have dignified what we are as a board, what we are as a county, and what we do as a staff. You guys are the face of that, and I want to say thank you. Dr. Eagle and her staff also, it's not unrecognized. 9 years in a row is something to be very proud of, and we're proud of it as this board, so thank you and to your staff, and we look forward to year 10. So let's go 10.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We get a picture, everybody? Rodney's last meeting, so he's going to use his phone. Here comes Barry. To the right a little, come to the right a little bit, just, there you go.
Keep going, keep going.
Keep on coming. Come on over, come on over.
Tighten up, there you go.
There you go.
Very good.
Todd, thank you for taking this picture, we'll get it. Take a picture, Todd. Everybody give a thumbs up for 10 years. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
Oh, she's got it. Hold on, we got that. One more photo. Backup plan.
We have this sent to you.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you, guys. As we wait on the next presentation,
No,
9 years in this business and what happens inside the county is really good. So you guys will get to see how good your work really is here as the audit comes. But thank you so much again for what you do. The next presentation will be given by Commissioner Worley, and he'll be given the proclamation to proclaim the month of January 2024 as Human Trafficking Awareness Month. And if you guys are not aware, this is one of the situations that nobody wants to be a part of, and we have dedicated people who are willing to go out and fight that every day. So thank you for your service, and Steve and his group, and as everybody comes up, so thank you guys.
How are y'all? Nice to see you. I just have Emily and Heather and Hannah, but we got a couple more. I know neither. Thank y'all. As the chairman said, a proclamation to proclaim the month of January as Human Trafficking Awareness Month. Whereas freedom, justice, and the pursuit of happiness is the foundation of American culture, we may find it hard to fathom we live in a world where people are deprived of these rights, a world where people are trafficked for labor or commercial sex. The heinous crime of human trafficking is not confined to some remote country. It's happening right here, within all segments of our community. Whereas human trafficking is the organized criminal activity in which human beings are treated as possessions to be controlled or exploited, human trafficking is a nationwide public health and civil rights crisis. Whereas for the last decade, North Carolina has consistently ranked in the top 10 states for trafficking incidents. And whereas victims of human trafficking are frequently members of vulnerable populations such as domestic violence, sexual assault survivors, and members of immigrant communities, minors in foster care, and homeless or runaway youth. Whereas the effects of human trafficking reach far beyond its victims and perpetrators, causing disruption in our schools, places of work, and neighborhoods. Whereas the leadership, dedication, and encouragement there is compelling evidence that we can be successful in reducing human trafficking in our community through prevention, education, increased awareness, and holding offenders accountable for their actions. Now therefore be it resolved that the Gaston County Board of Commissioners hereby proclaims the month of January 2024 as Human Trafficking Awareness Month. And we encourage all of our residents to learn more about the risks and indicators of human trafficking and do their part in helping end this crisis. Together we can protect the vulnerable, help survivors find healing, and bring offenders to justice. And this will be adopted tonight, the 23rd of January 2024. And I can tell you from my time in law enforcement, being associated with the trucking industry, a lot of human trafficking is conducted around the trucking industry. And certainly the truck stops that are in Mecklenburg County that are there, they are moving these individuals around through these truck stops. So we saw it as enforcement of Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration laws that we found some of those folks and they're out there, in North Carolina is a hot spot for this, so we really need to be aware. But thank you. I'll turn it over to you for comments. Thank you.
If you guys don't know, Heather Kaufman, she is head of the Lighthouse Program Director and the Children's Lighthouse Advocacy Center. I don't know how to put all that together, but Heather and her staff do a tremendous job. And if you guys have not had a chance to see the building, but also I want to add, make sure you talk about our special anchor that we have. Just let them know what that is. Thank you.
Alrighty, I sure will. First of all, thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Commissioners, for the awareness and recognition of this month, and also the support that shows for the victims and survivors in our community. It really means a lot. Chairman Brown was mentioning the Lighthouse Children's Advocacy Center, and of course this month is able to recognize the youth and adults who are victims and survivors day in and day out, whether it's labor trafficking or commercial sex acts. But over at the Children's Advocacy Center, we do have the anchors that through your support, through all of the county's support, and the community has come together to build a new location that opened earlier this year. And those anchors were a representation of that.
One of the things I know Chief Zeal is new, so we'll have to get him on board with our anchor system. He's been talking about wanting one, so I just asked him, did he have one? So as the new chief, we'll have to make sure he's on board. But thank you guys for what you do again. It's something that we hope we never have to see, but obviously we do, so thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is presentations, the fiscal year 22-23 Gaston County audit. Ms. Kelly Gooderham, Ms. Martin Stearns and Associates, CPAs and PA will now do the audit presentation. So thank you, ma'am, for coming.
Thank you and good evening. My name is Kelly Gooderham. I'm the Senior Audit Manager on Gaston County's audit. We've prepared the following PowerPoint to present what we feel to be some of the more pertinent topics of the county's fiscal year 23 audit. We have issued a clean, unmodified opinion on the financial statements, which means that we found no material misstatements that we feel that would lead us to believe the financial statements would be misleading to the reader. So first we'll go over your total general fund revenues and expenditures as compared to your final amended budget. Revenues were over budget, roughly $16 million, which means you received more than what you originally budgeted for. Expenditures were under budget by roughly $28 million, which means you expended less than what you budgeted for. Major drivers for revenues includes property taxes and restricted intergovernmental revenues, which includes your federal and state grants. And major drivers for expenditures included human safety, human services, and public safety. So the LGC utilizes a calculation to compare units across the state. It's your available fund balance within the general fund. So we start with your total fund balance of $124 million, less your non-spendables, which includes inventories, prepaids, and leases, less your stabilization by state statute to arrive at a total available fund balance of $104 million, which was an overall increase over the prior year of roughly $15 million, which was primarily due to an overall increase in your general fund balance. So then we take that available fund balance and we turn it into a percentage of expenditures within the general fund, and we compare Gaston to other counties within the same population group across the state. So you can see a general or gradual increase over the last several years. Your percentage ended at 35.76%, which was an overall increase of roughly 3.21%. And I did want to point out that this is actually a year in arrears because of the availability of information. So 2023 is actually 2022, and so on and so forth. Next, we'll go over your unassigned fund balance, again within the general fund. We start with your total fund balance, less the non-spendable and stabilization by state statute. But further, we reduce that for all other external and internal constraints, including your restricted fund balance, which includes Medicaid maximization, general government, building inspections, and register of deeds, less your assigned, which includes insurance reserves, subsequent year's expenditures appropriation, as well as Gaston County tap fees, to arrive at a total unassigned fund balance of a little under $43 million, which was an increase over the prior year of $4.6 million.
Good afternoon and welcome to the December 12, 2023 combined work session, regular meeting, and organization meeting of the Gaston County Board of Commissioners. My name is Chad Brown.
You're talking out of both sides there.
I know that.
I will go on.
I apologize.
So this shows a 12-year comparison of your unassigned fund balance as a percentage of total fund balance within the general fund. So we saw a pretty significant increase from 21 to 22, but remained comparable between 22 and 23 with an overall increase of 1%. And this slide just basically shows the same information, a 12-year comparison of your unassigned fund balance as opposed to your total fund balance. There was a pretty gradual increase over the last 3 years in both categories, with a pretty significant increase in 2020. So now we'll go through your top 3 general fund revenues and expenditures. Top 3 revenues include your property taxes, other taxes and licenses, which includes your sales tax and real estate transfer tax. And then your restricted intergovernmental revenues, again, include your federal and state grants, as well as your state and federal detention reimbursements. And we'll go into details on each of the top 3. First, your property tax, which is roughly 57% of your total revenues. Current year exceeded budget by $3 million, and overall increase over the prior year of $2 million or 1%. Other taxes and licenses, which equates to roughly 12% of total revenues. Current year exceeded budget by roughly $400,000 and increased over the prior year roughly $2 million or 6%. Your restricted intergovernmental revenues is roughly 18% of total general fund revenues. Current year revenues exceeded budget by $4 million and increased over the prior year roughly $6 million or 13%. Then your top 3 general fund expenditures. Public safety includes departments like county police, EMS, jail, and sheriff expenditures. Human services includes administration, personal health, and family planning. And then education includes your county public schools as well as Gaston College. Public safety expenses, which equates to roughly 32% of total expenditures. Your budget exceeded actual by $14.5 million, which means that you expended less than what you budgeted for. And there was an overall increase over the prior year of roughly $17 million or 22%. Human services, which is 27% of total general fund expenditures. Budget exceeded actuals by $22 million, and an overall current year decrease of $5.5 million or 7%. Then we have education, which is 20% of total expenditures. Your budget exceeded actual by $300,000 and actually stayed really comparable to only $500 increase. So a couple of highlights within your solid waste enterprise fund. Operating revenues ended at $13.7 million, which was an overall increase of $107 million or 14% over the prior year. And then your operating net loss ended at $469,000, which was primarily due to an overall increase in your operating expenses. And then some performance indicators that we noted on the LGC's data input sheet. We noted a stable property tax valuation as well as collection percentage. We noted consistent available fund balance percentage. We also noted 1 material weakness and 3 significant deficiency findings on the county's major program compliance testing at DSS. We also noted proper resolution of your prior year findings noted in fiscal year 22. And additional information on these findings can be found in the back of your audit report in the compliance package. Are there any questions?
First of all, let me say thank you for your report, and are there any questions from the board at this time? Ms. Cloninger.
The question I have is, why was there an increase of dollars toward public safety? Do we know that?
Sure. I actually made a note. The increase was primarily due to salaries and benefits, but I also noted some equipment purchases for EMS and sheriff, and then there was a new GASB standard implementation this year for GASB 96, which included subscription assets added, so there was capital outlay related to that as well.
Okay, so along with that, then why was there a decrease with human services?
So Human Services was actually due to the ERAP program, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. In the prior year, I think it was the second year, but it had really, increased, and the majority of the activity for that program was in the prior year. Whereas this year, it came to a close. Last year, it was roughly 14 million. This year is roughly 2 million.
Okay, and I have one more question.
Sure.
Do you have any findings that needs to be addressed or that were your report?
Yeah, so the findings that we noted, they are not financial statement findings. They are compliance findings only. And I believe finance is already working with DSS to rectify some of the internal controls that we noted. And I believe that they've started that process and are working with it. So we hope to get those resolved in the coming year as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions from the board at this time? Seeing none, we thoroughly thank you, ma'am, for your work and diligence, and we look forward to 23-24 soon.
I do too.
Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is approval of the business agenda. Is there any revisions or approval or any items that need to be pulled from the business agenda?
I'd like to
Mr.
pull,
Coniger.
I have questions about AF,
Okay.
please.
You pulling or just going to ask questions?
Pulling.
Pulling for a vote, okay. So items AF have been pulled, and also I have one item, agenda I, which is the maternity clinic lease agreement, has been updated for the 2024 dates. So that's two items, AF and I. Okay, we'll pull that. We'll just make sure we had the changes to the 2024 as the date on that. Do I hear a motion to approve the business agenda with the items AF pulled for the consent agenda? Motion made by
Second.
Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Kieger. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Approval of the minutes. You were provided with the draft minutes for the regular meeting, 12/12, and organizational meeting of 12/12. Are there any revisions? Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of those presented?
Approved.
Motion made by Commissioner Worley, seconded by Commissioner Hovis. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Our next item is citizens' recognition. Citizens' recognition portion of the board's agenda is set aside for the purpose of allowing citizens an opportunity to offer comments and suggestions. The comment period is not intended to require the commission or staff to answer any questions or provide a response. Questions requiring a response shall be answered as soon as possible through the county manager's office. Citizens' recognition tonight will be limited to 3 minutes. As I call your name, please step to the podium, and that would be Miss Charlotte Brown.
I have two questions.
Okay?
One is, I don't know, how do we enact a law? I've been told that there's no law for people parking in their front yard. Who do I contact to get this changed?
Or if you're looking
Any
for,
idea?
are you looking for an actual law or just something
Yeah,
that's?
they
it's-
tell me that it's, I filed a complaint, they say that if the vehicle is tagged and in running order, it's okay.
What I will do after this meeting, after you get through speaking, if you want to meet Mr. Skiba, the gentleman in the back right there with his hand up, he'll meet you outside the doors and he'll explain to you what that can be, and he's over that compliance section of what we can do here. But I actually know you do live in the city of Gastonia, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So when you're through speaking, I'll have Mr. Skiba take you out and please, and he can take care of that for you.
Good, thank you, because I'd like to know. And also, we had a small problem, because I do volunteer work, and the Public Works, they filed a work order for a repair that needed to be made, and I went by Public Works and complained because it wasn't getting done, and it was very small, so I understand that. But they sent a crew twice to look at it to see the problem, so
And again, this is the city of Gastonia Public Works.
I don't know, they told me it's county.
What I'll do, I'll have you, Mr. Zine, right there beside him, Mr. Skiba, and he'll meet you after that for the second question.
Okay, well, that's what I needed to know.
All right, y'all just please step outside. We're glad to move along.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You gentlemen, thank you. The next item is approval of the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda with items, was that AF?
Uh-huh.
AF pulled. Motion made by Commissioner Fraley, seconded by Commissioner Hovis. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. I would like to point out that the board voted tonight to reschedule our February 13th meeting, the work session, to precede the February 27th meeting, regular meeting, here in the Harley B. Gaston Public Forum at 6 p.m. The next item is items pulled from the consent agenda to the non-consent, and that'd be items AF. Commissioner Cloninger.
Okay, so I have some questions.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just making sure that I understand what I read in the documents. Ray, but I want to make sure that this is clear to me. So this is 3 parcels of land for sale. On one of the properties is a mill that was built in 1903. It's an average condition. It has 3 floors. It's a very large building. And it was, the mill was actually closed 12 years ago. It's been a warehouse. And in the future, it's anticipated to be a warehouse. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. And it's actually was built in 1903. Then there was an addition in 1960s, and then another one in 1984.
Okay.
But yes, you are correct.
Okay, so with it being said that anticipated to be a warehouse, what exactly is that going to house? And what is the cost to upfit that project?
So we haven't fully planned that portion of the project out, but we have talked about moving some of our functions, our warehousing functions, from the Yorkchester building to this location. Part of the purpose for the purchase is for the public safety campus to give us adequate acreage for that combined campus.
Okay. Per the drawings that you provided us from, I think, ADW Architects, what's the estimated cost? Do you have that yet on what this public safety campus is going to cost?
No, ma'am. We do not have information on that particular building. The renderings for that building were just an effort to show what the building could look like once it's renovated. So as we move forward with the design, we'll kind of refine the cost estimates for the public safety
And will it be
campus.
built in stages? Do you think the campus will be built in stages?
So the building wouldn't necessarily be used as part of the public safety function. So we would build the public safety campus itself first, and then we would renovate the building at some point in the future.
Okay. I understand the importance of a public safety campus. I do that, but I really have a hard time understanding why this piece of property is so expensive.
And that's a great question, and that's why we reached out to a local appraiser and asked them to take a look at the property and give us an idea of what market value was for that. So the appraiser did look at, I believe it was 8 different properties
Yeah, I
that
read
were sold to come up with that appraised value. So that's how we arrived at that number.
Okay. Okay, that's all the questions I have.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Worley.
Just wanted to clarify, and Ray, if you will, confirm this. We're able to use ARPA funding for this purchase?
Yes, that is correct. There wouldn't be any local county tax dollars associated with it. It would be purchased with ARPA funds.
Right.
Will ARPA funds build the facility going forward?
No, ma'am. ARPA funds would just be used to purchase the property.
Okay, all right, okay, thank you.
Ryan, are you through with your question?
Sorry.
You through, Ryan?
Yes.
Any other questions? I guess I want to say that the ARPA funds will be sunsetting, I want to say in the year 2026, is that the year?
That's correct.
So we actually have to get rid of those funds, and a lot of that funding is for that. I will say this, couple of great pieces of this. The county police, they're busting at the seams down there, have no offices available, and this is something that the county police kind of got a little shot in the arm when they saw this, and so we're glad to say that we're able to look at different things for that. Emergency management will be coming over as well, if you guys haven't been to the gyms facility where everything is over there on Highland, you go over there and you'll actually see how busting at the seams really comes out of 3 agencies inside of one, which we have EM, we have the gyms there and some other pieces of the puzzle. But one thing I want to say is, not only that, the Fuse District and where this, if you think about where a Board of Elections is currently held, that whole building, I guess, so to speak, where you have, it's not the Public Defender's Office, it's probation is down there.
Probation.
But you also have the County Police Building, which will go back onto the tax rolls. And this is inside of the Fuse District, which is basically something the city of Gastonia is trying to help out and build that area up. So this would be a great shot in the arm for what's going to happen with the tax base back for that area. So those are some of the foundational things that are happening. I'm excited to see this. And I know that we've put some use to it right now to where the land, I know the city of Gastonia is leasing a portion of that. So some people had said, hey, I see that piece of property and there's this truck sitting there. We had actually leased that because the city of Gastonia was doing some maintenance across the street. So I'm excited to see what this comes, but I'm also excited for our public safety officers and people involved in that, because for so long we're scattered throughout in a big section, and now we can do things on one campus. So I look forward to seeing more about it, hearing more about it, and with the use of ARPA funds, I think this will close out everything that's on top of that. So.
Yeah, if I could add to that,
yes,
thank you,
please.
Mr. Chairman. We are completing a packet report on the ARPA funds in terms of where you all have allocated those. In addition, the design for the public safety campus is in your current year budget.
Thank you for that, and that's one of the things. Go ahead, Mr. Hovis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One thing that I don't know that the chairman mentioned, but I want everyone to understand, especially the audience, 911 Communications Center is extremely cramped and crowded. This new facility will give us that expansion that's sorely needed in order for those people to have a proper work environment. They are very stressed as it is under their normal circumstances and dealing with health issues with virtually every call, and this will give them a proper space to do what they need to, as well as to give gyms the ability to actually store stuff and see stuff and understand what they have, because everything's I've been through those buildings on multiple occasions, and it's they've got 10 pounds of something in a 5-pound bag, and it's just hard to find it. But this is a great opportunity.
Well, I think the best part is when you start talking about this and you see faces who have been here. Mark, I don't know how many years you've been here over there in that building, and you come in every day and have to walk through something to move around to something to get through to your office. I know there's oxygen tanks everywhere. This provides a great resource for us to be able to move some things, but also a lot of people, I guess I'm letting the cat out of the bag for things. We use actually the back portion of Board of Elections and all to store things that we have now. So that this will be a great storage facility for some of that, but also to provide safety for our public safety pieces of apparatus and things that we need to make sure that keep close to our facilities and what we're doing. So I think it's also centrally located, which helps us a lot, and we don't have to look very far to the future to see that. So thank you, Ray, for your help on that. Any other questions for Ray?
Well,
Mr. Worley?
Just a comment, Mr. Chair, to echo what you just spoke of, the security of all our personnel and equipment there. But ultimately, this is to better serve the citizens of the county. They are under one location. All of our public safety operations will be there. There's many times under emergencies when they need to be able to communicate readily with one another. So this ultimately is to greater serve the citizens of this county. And there is no more property. So I think this is an excellent opportunity for us. Thank you.
And I think once built out, I think a lot of people have seen, I don't know if a lot of the people in the audience have seen the renderings of some of that. They can go online, I would assume, with help of Adam and them to maybe just kind of show some of those renderings, not today, but just to kind of have it out there so if somebody's looking for some of the renderings that are happening. This is going to be a first-class facility for the future of what's happening, especially also the infrastructure that's in place. There is so much in place there that's already there. So that's another great part of that, for that. So with no other questions, I will call for the vote. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Worley, seconded by Commissioner Hovis. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Is 5-1, Madam Clerk. The next item is items, appointments. Commissioner Fraley.
Couple, Mr. Chairman.
Take your time, sir.
Yeah, reappointment for Environmental Review Advisory Board, Mr. Johnny Denton. I got a reappointment for Sarah Planning, a local planning committee, Tawana Littlejohn, and I got an appointment for Vincent Wong, Juvenile Crime Prevention Council.
Second.
If you don't want to be wrong, you don't be right. But, seconded by Commissioner Hovis. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Mr. Worley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a reappointment requested for the Community Child Protection Team, and I will, Dr. Gina Ramsey has offered herself for reappointment, so I would make that a motion.
Seconded by Commissioner Fraley. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Mr. Cloninger.
I have an application from Dr. Mark Lassiter for the Health and Human Service Board.
I'll second that. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Commissioner Hovis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a reappointment to the Planning Board for Mr. Tony Marcatel for the Crowders Mountain Township.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Keeger. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Commissioner Keeger.
Reappoint Mike McLeod to the Environmental Review Advisory Board and appoint Jamarcus Mitchell to TAB.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Hovis. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. I have a few here. Gaston County Board of Adjustments, Mr. Lucas Shires has been asking for a reappointment. And Region F Aging application was received by Ms. Kathy Kinsey.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Hovis. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. I have full board appointments, a couple of vacancies. Economic Development Commission, we have a municipality ex officio, and Mr. Application was received, Mr. James Heffernan from Belmont. I'll second that. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Next one is Museum of Art and History. Commissioner Kathy Cloninger requesting reappointment. Look at this.
I know.
After 6 months, she's back for more.
That's right.
So, looking for her second term.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Fraley. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. The last one is Quality of Natural Resources. Application received, Mr. David Fogarty.
Make that a motion.
Seconded by Commissioner Hovis. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Thank you very much. Reports, Commissioner Fraley.
None, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Worley.
No report tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Cloninger.
No reports.
Commissioner Hovis.
I have none, sir.
Mr. Keeger.
Real brief, the College Board met yesterday. A couple things I'd like to point out is the enrollment for the current year is at 7,500 students, with about roughly 10,000 taking continuing education classes. And the college has finished its, it's called TAG. It's a transfer admission guarantee that Gaston College has put together with, well, I'll just list them real quick: Appalachian, Belmont Abbey, East Carolina, Gardner-Webb, Lenore-Ryan, Johnson C. Smith, Lees-McRae, North Carolina State, North Carolina Charlotte, and Wilmington. A guaranteed transfer. If a student graduates with an associate degree, every one of their credits, and they're guaranteed admission into those schools. So that's a pretty good feather in the college's hat. And one thing we don't hear much about anymore really is the Textile Technology Center. And just FYI, they've served 297 customers nationally and 18 internationally in the last 2.5 years. businesses representing Australia, Canada, Germany, Israel, Mexico, and Singapore. So just a little bit of information for your entertainment.
Thank you, sir. I'll just be real brief. We attended the Bill Stetzer appointment to Superior Court judge back in January, earlier in the month. But I also want to welcome District Court Judge Gus Anthony to our meeting. Thank you for coming in. He probably got a quick night off from what's happened over, but wanted to say thank you to everyone. And Dr. Eagle.
No report tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Esquire Rogers.
No report tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Wow, y'all make it very easy for us to get out of here, and I've lost my place because I put this over here, sorry. Any other matters need to come before this board at this time? Seeing none, we will conclude tonight. This concludes our meeting for tonight. Our next meeting is combined work session and regular meeting in February 27th at 6 p.m. here in the Harley B. Gaston Public Forum Courthouse. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please remit those to Ms. Donna S. Buff at 704-866-3196. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Fraley. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Third name down, don't forget.
Thank you.